Hello, Morongo Basin and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. This is your Z107.7 local news for Easter Sunday, April 9th, 2023. Invasive species. Plants that are not indigenous to the area and harm humans, wildlife, and other native plants are having a boom year here in the Morongo Basin. Reporter Heather Clisby joins us with info on how to spot these invaders and help reduce the spread of these weeds.
Good news, all that rain and random snow has enabled desert blooms to pop. Bad news, the precipitation has done the same for invasive plants. And while the human eye may love green carpeting on the desert floor, it means less water for native plants and dangerous fuel for wildfires. These invaders are upsetting the natural ecosystem of our desert. Frequent invaders include annual grasses, red brome, cheatgrass, schismus from the Mediterranean region. Cheatgrass is highly flammable and spreads easily. Unwittingly, the grass hitches a ride on our clothing and shoes. Fountain grass, another invasive, is an ornamental plant commonly sold in nurseries and easily dispersed by wind. But if there is a headliner of weeds, it is definitely the mustards, primarily Sahara mustard, London rocket, and Eastern rocket. The park has reported extensive infestations of Sahara mustard, and while this noxious weed is fairly low density, it forms large monocultures that exclude other species, essentially a plant bully. The presence of sorghum and millet are proving troublesome too. Invasive plant technician Yaslin Ayala, who works with the Great Basin Institute at JTMP, warns that these invasive weeds often arrive via birdseed. Want to know how to help? Look for this story at Z107.7 FM.com. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Heather Clisby.
The Mojave Desert is home to many unique animals, and there's no doubt it's a thrill to see one of the rare species that we're famous for. I've yet to see a bighorn sheep, tortoise, or bobcat in the wild, but I know that they're out there, blending into the landscape just out of sight. I keep looking, though, on every hike or drive that I take. On this field report, I'm taking a look at a much more common desert dweller, one that sits right between the tiny kangaroo rat and the iconic black-tailed jackrabbit. I'm talking about the desert cottontail, also known as Audubon's cottontail. However, I usually just refer to them as bunnies. You're listening to 3 bunnies munching on fallen birdseed in my backyard. That's as close as I could get to gathering sounds of these commonly sighted but rarely heard animals. Cottontail bunnies primarily feed on grass, weeds, and shrubs. You can even see evidence of their tiny teeth gnawing on some low branches of a creosote bush. The bunnies are around and active all year, but in hotter months they spend most of their days in shallow burrows underground. Mild spring and fall weather make them more active in the daytime, but like most animals in the high desert, sunrise and sunset are the best time to see active animals. The next time you spot one, maybe take a moment to appreciate the humble desert cottontail, a small but hardy survivor who has chosen a beautiful and challenging environment to try and thrive in. Maybe the cottontail's journey reflects some of the stories that have brought people like us to the majestic Mojave Desert for generations. And that's your local news. You can hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.